February 8th, Leviticus 22 and 23. And Yah spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to Aharon and his sons, that they separate themselves from the set-apart offerings of the children of Israel, and that they do not profane my set-apart name, and what they set apart to me. I am Yah. Say to them, Any man of all your offspring, throughout your generations, who draws near the set-apart offerings which the children of Israel set apart to Yah, while he has uncleanness upon him, that being shall be cut off from before me. I am Yah. Any man of the offspring of Aharon, who is a leper, or has a discharge, does not eat the set-apart offerings until he is clean. And whoever touches that which is rendered unclean by a being, or by a man who has had an emission of semen, or a man who touches any swarming creature by which he would be made unclean, or any being by whom he would become unclean, even any of his uncleanness, that being who has touched it shall be unclean until evening, and does not eat the set-apart offerings, but shall bathe his body in water. And when the sun goes down, he shall be clean, and afterward eat the set-apart offerings, because it is his food. He does not eat that which dies, or is torn by beasts, becoming unclean by it. I am Yah. And they shall guard my charge, lest they bear sin for it and die thereby, when they profane it. I am Yah. I, Yah, set them apart. And no stranger eats the set-apart offering. A sojourner with the priest, or a hired servant, does not eat the set-apart offering. But when the priest buys a bean with his silver, he does eat of it, and one who is born in his house does eat his food. And when a priest's daughter is married to a stranger, she does not eat of the set-apart offerings. But when a priest's daughter is a widow or put away, and has no child, and has returned to her father's house as in her youth, she does eat her father's food, but no stranger eats of it. And when a man eats a set-apart offering by mistake, he shall give a set-apart offering to the priest, and add 1/5 to it. And let the priests not profane the set-apart offerings of the children of Israel, which they lift up to Yah, or allow them to bear the crookedness of trespass, when they eat their set-apart offerings. For I am Yah who sets them apart. And Yah spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to Aharon and his sons, and to all the children of Israel, and say to them, Any man of the house of Israel, or the strangers in Israel, who brings his offering, or any of his vows, or for any of his voluntary offerings, which they bring to Yah as a sending offering, for your acceptance, is a male, a perfect one, from the cattle, from the sheep, or from the goats. Whatever has a defect, you do not bring, for it is not acceptable for you. And when a man brings the slaughtering of peace offerings to Yah, to complete a vow, or a voluntary offering, from the cattle or the sheep, it is to be perfect, to be accepted. Let there be no defect in it. Those blind, or broken, or cut, or having an ulcer, or eczema, or scabs, you do not bring to Yah, nor make an offering by fire of them on the slaughter place to Yah. As for a bull or a lamb that has any limb deformed or dwarfed to you, you do prepare it as a voluntary offering, but for a vow it is not accepted. Do not bring to Yah what is bruised or crushed, or torn or cut, nor do it in your land. And from a son of a stranger's hand you do not bring any of these as the bread of your Elohim, for their corruption is in them, and defects are in them. They are not acceptable for you. And Yah spoke to Moshe, saying, When a bull or a sheep or a goat is born, it shall be 7 days with its mother, and from the 8th day and thereafter it is acceptable as an offering made by fire to Yah. But do not slay a cow or a sheep and its young on the same day. When you slaughter a slaughtering of thanksgiving to Yah, Slaughter it for your acceptance. It is eaten that same day. Leave none of it until morning. I am Yah. And you shall guard my commands and do them. I am Yah. And do not profane my set apart name, and I shall be set apart among the children of Israel. I am Yah who sets you apart, who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim to be your Elohim. I am Yah. Leviticus 23. And Yah spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and say to them, The appointed times of Yah, which you are to proclaim as set-apart gatherings, my appointed times are these. 6 days work is done, but the 7th day is a Sabbath of rest, a set-apart gathering. You do no work. It is a Sabbath to Yah in all your dwellings. These are the appointed times of Yah, set-apart gatherings, in which you are to proclaim at their appointed times. In the first new moon, on the 14th day of the new moon, between the evenings, is the Pesach to Yah. And on the 15th day of this new moon, is the festival of Matzot to Yah. 7 days you eat unleavened bread. On the first day you have a set-apart gathering. You do no servile work. And you shall bring an offering made by fire to Yah for 7 days. On the 7th day is a set-apart gathering. You do no servile work. And Yah spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and you shall say to them, When you come into the land which I give you, and shall reap its harvest, then you shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest to the priest, and he shall wave the sheaf before Yah for your acceptance. On the morrow after the Sabbath, the priest waves it. And on that day when you wave the sheaf, you shall prepare a male lamb, a year old, a perfect one, and a sending offering to Yah. And its grain offering, 2/10 of an ephah, a fine flour mixed with oil, an offering made by fire to Yah, a sweet fragrance. And its drink offering, 1/4 of a hin of wine. And you do not eat bread or roasted grain or fresh grain until the same day that you have brought an offering to your Elohim, a law forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. And from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offering, you shall count for yourselves 7 completed Sabbaths. Until the morrow after the 7th Sabbath, you count 50 days. Then you shall bring a new grain offering to Yah. Bring from your dwellings for a wave offering 2 loaves of bread, 2/10 of an ephah, a fine flour they are, baked with leaven, first fruits to Yah. And besides the bread, you shall bring 7 lambs a year old, perfect ones, and 1 young bull, and 2 rams. They are an ascending offering to Yah, with their grain offering and their drink offerings, an offering made by fire, for a sweet fragrance to Yah. And you shall offer 1 male goat as a sin offering, and 2 male lambs a year old, as a slaughter of peace offerings. And the priest shall wave them beside the bread of the firstfruits, as a wave offering before Yah. Besides the 2 lambs, they are set apart to Yah for the priest. And on this same day, you shall proclaim a set-apart gathering for yourselves. You do no servile work on it, a law forever in all your dwellings, throughout your generations. And when you reap the harvest of your land, do not completely reap the corners of your field when you reap, and do not gather any gleanings from your harvest. Leave them for the poor and for the stranger. I am Yah, your Elohim. And Yah spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th new moon, on the first day of the new moon, you have a rest, a remembrance of Teruah, a set-apart gathering. You do no servile work, and you shall bring an offering made by fire to Yah. And Yah spoke to Moshe, saying, On the 10th day of the 7th new moon is Yom HaKippurim, and it shall be a set-apart gathering for you, and you shall afflict your beings, and shall bring an offering made by fire to Yah. And you do no work on that same day, for it is Yom Kippurim, to make an atonement for you before Yah, your Elohim. For any being who is not afflicted on that same day, he shall be cut off from his people. And any being who does any work on that same day, that being I shall destroy from the midst of his people. You do no work, a law forever throughout your generations, in all your dwellings. It is a Sabbath of rest to you. And you shall afflict your beings on the 9th day of the new moon, at the evening. From evening to evening you observe your Sabbath. And Yah spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, On the 15th day of this 7th new moon is the festival of Sukkot, for 7 days to Yah. On the first day is a set-apart gathering. You do no servile work. For 7 days you bring an offering made by fire to Yah. On the 8th day there shall be a set-apart gathering for you, and you shall bring an offering made by fire to Yah. It is a closing festival. You do no servile work. These are the appointed times of Yah, which you proclaim as set-apart gatherings, to bring an offering made by fire to Yah, an ascending offering and a grain offering, a slaughtering and drink offerings, as commanded for every day. Besides the Sabbaths of Yah, besides your gifts, and besides all your vows, and besides all your voluntary offerings which you give to Yah. On the 15th day of the 7th new moon, when you gather in the fruit of the land, celebrate the festival of Yah for 7 days. On the first day is a rest, and on the 8th day is a rest. And you shall take for yourselves on the first day the fruit of good trees, branches of palm trees, twigs of leafy trees, and willows of the stream, and shall rejoice before Yah your Elohim for 7 days. And you shall celebrate it as a festival to Yah for 7 days in the year, a law forever in your generations. Celebrate it in the 7th new moon. Dwell in booths for 7 days. All who are native born in Israel dwell in booths, so that your generations know that I made the children of Israel dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Mitzrayim. I am Yah, your Elohim. Thus did Moshe speak of the appointed times of Yah to the children of Israel.